This custom boat blind is pretty simple overall, but it has some really cool features built into it. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to recreate it. And this was shared by Elijah in our community a couple years ago. And this entire thing is made out of 3/4 inch electrical conduit and maker pipe fittings, which are something that we manufacture in upstate South Carolina. And they allow you to build all kinds of awesome projects like this without having to do any welding or using power tools. You just need a few hand tools and you can put together projects just like this. And here we can see a few photos of it, out on the water, and it looks fantastic. And yeah, it's just a really awesome build. And he shared this photo of the framework, and you can see here that this framework is made to fold flat against the boat. And then of course you can deploy it out whenever you're ready to use it as a blind. But this is really awesome, and he was able to do this in a really creative way that I'm going to show you how in this video, and I think it's going to be really helpful to you if you're wanting to build something really similar. So we'll go ahead and just break this down using the iPad here, and I'll just highlight some things. And the way you'd want to start this same framework is essentially what he did is mount a piece of EMT conduit 3/4 inch from one side of the boat to the other, going all the way across there. And we can't really see exactly how he mounted it. From what I can tell, it looks like one of the maker pipe flanges. And I think it's one of our rigid flanges, that allows it to just have a straight connection and doesn't adjust or anything like that. But if you do have an angle there, you could use the maker pipe adjustable angle flange, and that would allow you to bolt it to the side of the boat and then, angle it depending on whatever angle you've got there on the side of the boat. So you can mount that in that way, or if you have a mount or something like that for your specific boat, you can mount it that way. But essentially, you just want to have this piece of conduit going from one side to the other. That's kind of the main foundation of the boat. And then he did the same thing on the front, going across as well. And like I said, that's just a main part of this framework and kind of what allows all this to function the way that it does. But from there, he's essentially just grabbed onto that cross piece using the maker pipe adjustable angle connector, and then just two of them side by side with one of them facing this way, one of them facing that way. And essentially what this does is it allows him to use the functionality of the adjustable angle hinge, which allows you to hinge the bottom piece that's connected to it. So essentially he's just grabbing onto that horizontal bar, and then he's able to hinge the other piece of conduit coming out of it, which is this piece here that is at the bottom of that adjustable angle and is going up and then curves. I think he used a handheld tubing bender to add the 90-degree bends in this, and then it goes all the way across. And then it's the same thing there as well. So essentially just, by using the bends, and I think he actually separated this, if you're using a dimension, or if you need a dimension longer than 10 foot, then you'll need to use a coupling to extend that length and join those together. So I think he used a maker pipe coupling somewhere in here to kind of join these two together. That makes it easier to bend these corners, and you don't have to get a perfect bend there and there. You can kind of break it up into two sections and then join them back together with the coupling. But essentially, by mounting that piece from one side to the other and then grabbing on with the adjustable angle hinge and then connecting those two sections together with the coupling, you have this main part of the frame that can fold up. And we can see that he grabbed onto that with a maker pipe T connector, which is a really simple connector that just joins two pieces of conduit together. It's a pretty standard fitting, probably one of the most versatile and commonly used that we see. It just joins two pieces, like I said. And essentially, he's just grabbing on with that T, and then there is a piece of conduit coming out of it with a rubber pipe foot on the end. And so the way this works is whenever he swings this up, then this piece of conduit just, rests on the boat there, and then we'll keep that panel up in, kind of the up position, and, works really well, and it's just really simple for that. And we can see the same thing on the opposite side as well. So kind of think about this in a two-stage design. So he's got this first part that we just highlighted that essentially folds up, and then you have that piece of conduit resting against the boat to keep it up in the air. And then he's got basically a second stage that utilizes the same exact technique with the adjustable angle hinge connector that grabs onto that first long horizontal piece of conduit. And it looks like in a couple places, actually no, that's just a coupling there. But essentially that adjustable angle connector grabs on there and pretty much just repeats that and does the exact same thing again. So it's just another horizontal piece of conduit that goes all the way and then it's kind of stacked on top of that one. And it's pretty much just the same thing again, just grabbed on with that adjustable angle hinge. And then of course the same thing on the other side of the boat. But you can imagine now this is kind of a two-stage design where it's going to fold up to a certain point, and then it's going to stop there with that leg that he created, and then he just folds the other section. So he's got this full enclosure over top of the whole boat, and it's nice and simple, just really utilizing that adjustable angle hinge. And that's pretty much all you have to do to build this framework. It's just utilizing, to make sure you have that piece of conduit going from one side to the other, that blue bar there, and then attaching onto those with the adjustable angle hinges, and then adding that second stage of the folding framework using another adjustable angle, and then that's pretty much it to make that framework that folds out and kind of covers the whole boat. And then you can do what Elijah did, which is essentially just adding some of the grass and the different things on top of it. And it looks like he's got different configurations. Looks like this is a different time of year than I think this original photo that he shared. We can see some, different things attached to the frame with zip ties there, nice and simple. And then we can see here with a different camouflage. So must be using this, throughout different seasons and for different things. But, you can customize this and add whatever it is to it that you want to the outside, depending on what you're hunting and, where you're going to be and everything like that. So that's really awesome and just a really great design. Like I said, not too complicated, but has a really cool feature and is really compact and not too expensive if you're just using EMT conduit and maker pipe connectors. Thanks so much to Elijah for sharing this. If you have any questions about this build or anything that you're putting together, feel free to leave those down in the comments or reach out to us and we'll do our best to help. And thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.